So, after an absolute nightmare travelling yesterday, right after a storm, the rail network in the UK, let's just say Iceland can have a volcano and everything still functions, even as this volcano is erupting and thousands of tons of hot molten lava are pouring down the mountain. Iceland adapts. The UK, the big bad wolf comes along and blows the doors in and the windows. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll destroy your rail system, says the wolf. And that's what happened. It was an absolute nightmare yesterday, travelling in the UK. I'm not sure what storm it was. A bit windy. And it just broke the system. The whole country came to a standstill. In terms of getting down from Crewe, it took me 6.5 hours on something that should have took me an hour and 55 minutes. We were stuck in Tamworth for 4.5 hours on the train. There were 3 trains in front that were stuck. There were 6 trains behind that were stuck. There were half of the train got off and took an alternative, which was a nightmare in itself. And quite frankly, I sat on the train and waited the 4 hours. And we started moving again. 4 hours after we stopped, we started moving again. And those people that took the alternative would have still been headed to London when we were in London. We got in London, I think, at 6:40, something like that. I left at 12. It was a nightmare yesterday. And then the hotel was a nightmare. The Ramada Inn I stayed at it neglected to tell me it wasn't actually at Stansted Airport. On one website it said it was 3/4 of a mile away, and I thought I can walk that. It was 4 miles away, and it was a service station about 4 miles out of Stansted, and they were doing some renovation work on the roads. So the bus that I took, because a taxi would have cost me 25 quid, dropped me a stop past the hotel and said, "Good luck getting there, mate." That was the advice I had. Good luck getting there. They've blocked the road off there. And I ended up having to trounce along the side of the motorway like some Alan Partridge tribute of the M11 to get to the hotel. It was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. I slept minutes I think I slept for. And my flight was at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I was up at 4. I think I went to bed at 1 and I didn't sleep. It was a terrible, terrible night. Get to the airport. Absolute nightmare. It's a whole other video of what airport travel has become. It's my first time away for 6 years. And then I didn't travel by plane. It's my first time on a plane since 2012. Holy crap. Since when did airports become shopping malls? It took me 20 minutes to navigate the hundreds of shops that it felt like there weren't hundreds. There were probably 30 that you navigate through as you go into the gate to get to your plane. And you're just following the herd. I think in future, travel for me is going to be reliant solely on a car. I'm done with airports traveling. It's just not for me. Scanning this, scanning that, QR code this, QR code that. I don't want to make this video about the money, because at the end of the day I'm lucky to have got away for Christmas and the New Year, and this is where I find myself now, and I'm very happy now. I'm in a country that I've never been to before, Slovakia. I'm in a place called Bratislava, which is the capital, and I'm here until the 3rd of January, and so far the hospitality, the people, oh my god, the women, oh my god, I'm 6'7", and there are a lot of tall women here, but they are, I don't know what happened to the gene pool here. sprinkled with magic dust, because I've just literally stopped in my tracks of how beautiful some of the women are. For Czechoslovakia, where are we? Go back in 1988. No, it goes for the Czech Republic as well. It's about to shut down for 3 days because in Slovakia, Christmas Eve is the more important day, where it's predominantly a Catholic Christian religion here. So midnight mass is extremely important to them. So and that's something that is going to be reflective in the fact that all the shops are shut. Everything closes down for 3 days. And it's during that 3 days that I intend on taking some photography. I brought my Instax. A lot of the stuff I'm going to be doing is revolving around sound and analog. And I think it's the perfect opportunity to walk around what I've been told becomes extremely post-apocalyptic Bratislava. During those 3 days, everything shuts. Even the trams and buses don't run. Apparently it's just empty. So that is going to be a spectacle to see, because at the end of the day, I didn't want a Christmas in the UK where I'd be thinking about my once family. I wanted to give myself a break from Christmas this year, and what I think I've ended up with is just that, but an experience to be in another country and see how they celebrate Christmas, albeit extremely quiet one when I'm walking around the town, but that should give me some great opportunities as long as the weather holds. It's raining at the moment, but it was sunny earlier on, and I believe it's showers and sunshine over the next 4 or 5 days. Temperatures about 5 degrees, so it's a little bit chilly, but I don't feel the cold. That's why I've come to Slovakia in December. If you did feel the cold, you probably wouldn't do this. I'm at the hostel. I have a private room, and I will just do a little room tour for all of my subscribers to see. It's a nice hostel, actually. It's there's quite a few Ukrainian refugees living here at the moment, because obviously Slovakia borders Ukraine. I have an ensuite bathroom as well. I don't have a kitchen. I've seen the communal kitchen, so that's probably where I'll end up meeting some people. There's also a bar downstairs as well, which I haven't been to yet, but I have a free courtesy drink, which I'll be going to tomorrow. Popping down there, see who's about, just meet a few people. Seems really nice, and it's slam bang in the old town. So literally the old town is 2 minutes down the road. So it's perfect positioning. And the room I'm very impressed with. You can see a big green curtain behind me. The view from there is very Soviet, brutalist architecture, and it feels like I'm in an area which is sort of like a throwback to Soviet Russian architecture, which is bloody brilliant. Opportunities to take some great photos, especially myself who likes architecture, old and new. So that should be fun. And the Instax is a great camera. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So expect to see some projects in the future revolving the Instax Square, and also the recording equipment that I have with me to be able to record some of the sounds and sights. And I'll overlay that with some analog photography in the future. I'll give you a little bit of a tour. How's that? So here we are. I will turn the camera ever so slightly so you can see the walls. But this, and this is me standing as far back in the corner. There's much more than I'm used to on a narrowboat. Got a nice little uplighting thing going on there, which is quite nice. A little shelf. Got a great rustic case there, which I love. Chest, I should say, not case. So I won't show you outside because it's raining and it's dark. This is my bed. As you can see, it's quite large, which is good for me. It's got a castle with a fish peering through the door, which I thought was quite it's very kitsch. And then there's a big fish on the wall. You can see it's a mirror with a fish in the mirror, as you can see. And then we have the ensuite bathroom, which is, at the end of the day, perfect. Although if it had a bath, that would be amazing. But the shower's lovely. It's very big. It's called the Patio Hostel. I only arrived today at 3:00, so I've gone into the town. I've done a little bit of wandering about, seen what's about. It's still very full-flowing Christmas because obviously we're on the 22nd. Tomorrow there's a folk festival, the last day of Christmas celebrations before the city I should say, shuts down. There's a folk festival. So I'm going to go and watch some gypsy music at 7:30 tomorrow in the old square, Bratislava. So we'll check that out. I might even take this camera with me. And it's just a relief to be out of the UK because I don't know what's happening to the UK. I wish I did. It just doesn't feel home anymore. It hasn't. I mean, I know that I go on about family and stuff quite a lot in terms of, you know, parents not being with me anymore and no brothers and sisters. I don't feel any tie now to the UK. Like I don't feel like, and I also don't, I feel that attitudes have changed so much over the years. You know, this divide and conquer thing that's been going on in America and the UK. It's got to the point now where it's so visible and it's so miserable. It's unlivable. It's beginning to, well, I say, yeah, it is unlivable now. It's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. And what's going on politically and culturally, the massive sort of drain on the human psyche, or the British human psyche, it's so evident now. And Christmas is just there's so many. I can't describe Euston Station yesterday when I arrived after the 6 hours. I can't describe it other than drones. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of malfunctioning drones walking extremely fast in front of my eyes, miserable faces, pissed off look replicated on everyone's face. There's a game that I play called Detroit Become Human, and it was a very good game, and it came out, I think, probably about 4 or 5 years ago now. Fantastic storyline, very good game if you haven't played it, where these robots are trying to break their programming. It seems like most of the UK population that I witnessed yesterday at Euston Station with nothing but a cancelled board in electric coming up, cancelled, and there was no trains were moving anywhere. It seemed to me like everyone stopped trying to break out the programming now. Conditioned. It was frightening. It was frightening. Bearing in mind I live on a boat in the middle of nowhere. So when the contrast of when you arrive somewhere, like London, it's suddenly in your face. So I might be being a bit harsh here, but it just felt robotic. People had given up. The attitude and the atmosphere was there was no spark. It was like flat. Bratislava, when I arrive, I'm greeted at the airport by traditional Bratislavans, Slovakians in traditional dress, wishing me a happy visit and a Merry Christmas. And I could feel all the stresses just of travel immediately. Like when you get somewhere on what is a nightmare thing now for flying, as I said, despite the very attractive Czech Republic hostess, supervisor. And I have her name, and she said, do add me on Facebook. And we were just chatting about lots of different things. And it was quite strange because when somebody does something for me, instead of saying thanks or thank you, I say, you're a star. And her response, yes, I am. That's why I work in the sky. She wrote it down. She showed me at the end when she gave me her contact details. She she wrote it down in a little. She's got a little notebook where she makes little logs and conversations and stuff, and it was there. It said, "You're a star." I know I am. That's why I work in the sky. So she wrote it down. She liked it. So I was already in a happy mood because she was a beautiful Czech Republic girl. So I arrived with a smile on my face. But yes, automatons, that's what we're talking about. Automatons of Euston followed me right through to the airport the next day. Walking like this with hundreds of people in front of you and behind you, and then being herded through a duty-free area with shops that range from Mountain Warehouse to Fat Face to just things that you would see in a shopping mall, but and a big sign that keeps saying, and it didn't seem to get any closer, all gates. Perfumes and cigarettes, that was fine. That always was the old. But all of these stores now moving in, I think air travel has become so chaotic now. Things like scanning in with QR codes, which I hadn't been doing. I bought a smartphone specifically for this trip, and I'm so out of touch with that. It still feels strange that everything is asking for your boarding passes on your phone, and you've got to have your phone out as well as your passport. Lots of things like that was new to me. As again, I haven't travelled since 2012 on a plane, because the last time I went away abroad was by ferry to France. So it was an eye-opener, and it was as chaotic as I always imagined. I will never get used to. I won't get used to. Not I will never. I won't get used to using QR codes and things outside of unless I have to, when it requires it through travel. But I think we can alleviate some of that by not taking a plane. And going a slightly different route and driving maybe. Plus you get to see more of the country as well. With that being said, Ryanair, and I've forgotten the lady's name. It's on my phone, and I'm going to add her. Despite all that, it was an enjoyable flight for that reason alone. No other reason. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed this little tour of my hostel, and I hope if you get to see this message before Christmas that you all have a wonderful, wonderful, happy Christmas. Say hello to all the family from me, even though I don't know them. I don't really know you, and I'm talking to you. But yeah, just have a good Christmas, and remember that a lot of those problems, or they may seem like problems today, with relatives and overstaying aunts and uncles, who knows who you've got around your house at the moment, can feel a little bit exhausting. But just know that this isn't always going to be the case. Just know that any time you're spending with your family now is making memories for the future, but also not everyone is around for as long as you'd hope. So if you're in that position at the moment and you have lots of family around that are causing you to have a nervous breakdown, it's best to have them there than to not. So enjoy your Christmas, and I will enjoy my Christmas. It's what I wanted, as I've become quite selfish in my middle age. I kind of knew what to expect and what I wanted this Christmas, and I think I've been given a really nice present here. So I will endeavour to create some art while I'm here. Thanks for watching this long. I don't know how long I've been talking for. Oh, I think it's nearly 30 minutes. Or is it nearly 30 minutes? My eyesight's 28 minutes, I think. Such a tiny little screen on the Osmo. There's a great coffee shop right outside of this hostel, which unfortunately is closed for the next 3 days. But oh my God, pricing here. There's expensive parts of the city, as there is in any city, but pricing. I had. This doesn't sound very cultured, but I had 2 slices of pepperoni pizza, bought from, where is he from? Kosovo, originally. We ended up talking a lot about 90s politics and how Bill Clinton and Tony Blair helped his country in to defeat Slobodan Milosevic. So, politics-wise, it's quite interesting because I retain history. So we were having a very good conversation, but I've digressed from the price of my pizza, which was €2 for what I can describe as probably 6 slices from Domino's. And the coffee from a barista-style coffee shop, very funky, very artistic, got lots of old typewriters, do their own coffee, brew their own coffee, lots of versions of different coffees in there, €1.50. It's cheap. It's cheaper, a lot cheaper than I'm used to. So should be able to make that €300 for the next 2 weeks last. The new year, I will attempt a live stream from where I'll be then, and it won't be Bratislava. It will be another country and another capital. Merry Christmas from the Patio Hostel, Bratislava, Slovakia.